Hello everybody, it's Fat Man from the Holler. As usual, if you like my videos, hit like and subscribe. Today, I want to show you guys how to make pretty much an instant water for your chickens. And as always, bought the stuff on Amazon because it's really cheap. It's like between $5 to $10 for this right here. It's automatic poultry drinking cups. So what we're going to do is get right into this. I'm going to show you guys what's going on. These are cups. As you can see, they're cups for putting water in. And then there's 3, and then here's 2 more. So we have 5. And pull the last one out, which will be 6. And then let's get this little instruction piece of paper out. Just for those who may not be greatly inclined with doing certain things. The nutshell of it is, you use a drill, you drill a hole through it, you thread it in, and on the back it has a wing nut. And you can of course use plumber's tape if you have it, but the cool thing about the kit, it also comes with a drill bit, as you see. So 100% simple on that end, gives everything needed to do it. So all I have to do is throw the drill bit into my drill, okay, and then you figure out you got a 5-gallon bucket, how about where you want it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to put it too low. I'm going to put it moderately low. Actually, I put it about right here. And this is a food grade type bucket a friend of mine gave me, so it's a little bit thicker than some other ones out there. And see, it doesn't really need the plumber's tape because it has that ring. What goes down on this is you slide it inside like so. It's actually a little low because it's going to be kind of sitting on the ground. I didn't kind of count for that, but that's going to be okay. And then all you have to do is turn the bucket, and you have that, just hold it in place. And then all you have to do initially is add your wing nut, and then tighten your wing nut adequately down to where actually what's going to happen is when the wing nut gets tighter, the hole in that piece of plastic that you've seen on the exterior, actually this moves too, so that's okay on that end. But as actually you tighten it down, what that little piece of plastic on the exterior of it's going to do, it's going to provide a gasket right there, as you can see. It's not relatively that hard, and I think I'll put them all pretty close to the same. I mean, I should have used a marker for doing this, but I'm doing it kind of on the fly, off the whim. So I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I got thinking about it. So I was thinking about my chickens, as a friend of mine gave me 3 dozen eggs to hatch out. I got thinking more about my chickens, so I figured I'd just finally get this thing set up today. And I might move this one up a little bit, like right there. And then here's the next hole. Just drilled it to get that out of the way. And I put it about the same. So I'm going to put them all pretty close to the same. So that'll work out evenly. So it's not too bad to actually do this. I mean, you can buy these, instead of buying a lot of stupid stuff from places like Tractor Supply and all that ridiculous business, I'd rather just buy some from Amazon, because it's going to be much more efficient. Because Tractor Supply and all them places, Tractor Supply, like, basically what Tractor Supply did is they pissed in their Kool-Aid. Because when they bought out Orson's and shut it down and sold out the bird shit, I don't know if Orson's initially wanted to do it, but when a business does that stuff, I've worked retail, I think that's trashy behavior in a corporation, just like Bass Pro buying out Cabela's, because what that initially does, it gives the customers no choice of who they have to buy their products from. And I find it to be kind of disgusting, and I just don't appreciate it. Just kind of like how Walmart did Kmart, but that's a different deal. But it's similar in its ways. I just don't like I don't like how corporations are molesting the United States consumer market by where you have to work for us and buy from us, and you're just going to have to suffer. And that's why I'd rather deal with any Chinese entity. And I know this doesn't pertain to the video, but when you're a consumer, you should be able to have options of who and where you purchase things from instead of having to be dictated to where you're soulfully only able to buy something from one place, which is pretty meaningless and pretty much garbage. So I'm sorry to rant about that, but I wish they understood that there's people like me, we don't appreciate it, not one bit. Because Tractor Supply prices ain't no better than Orscheln's, and nothing they have in their store is not quite impressing me one bit. So I'm going to leave that rant alone and continue working on this, since majority of this is done. So as you can see, when I turn this, all three is on it, and I have 3 more to add. So one of the things about it is trying to make sure you do proper spacing. And I mean, I should have string lined it and taped it to get it up higher, because I mean, as you can see, it really could have actually been up to this level, but I was doing it to put it low. So like if it's higher, the chickens may break it or something, or stand on it. So I could have put it up higher, but I'm putting it quite low. So, and it's not a bad option, any of it. And I don't really have a marker pen on me either. Actually, I do have something I can use. They'll work just as well as having a marker. And it's a crayon from another video where I cleaned the crayons off for melting them down for candle making and making waxes, etc. And you can see it, and I'll show you how crayon works. Crayon works pretty good on plastic. You can see the little blue mark right there. So that'll make that a little bit faster having to wait to mark it versus trying to do it by eyeballing it. So there is that. And then pull that wing nut off again, off the back. And I think it's going to be a proficient thing. It's going to be efficient, proficient, definitely in summertime, because Missouri, we do have odd weather. And it's just not like one time. Like right now, it's currently in about the 50-degree margin outside. And then roughly in January, it's below 0. It's like 20 below. Missouri is kind of like old Forrest Gump saying, life's like a box of chocolates, you're never going to know what you're going to get. Well, Missouri, you never know what you're going to get. Or you can get freezing rain, hail, sleet, snow, 100-degree weather, 70 degrees in February. Quite crazy. And a lot of people talk, oh, it's climate change causing it. Well, could be. Could be. It could also be a whole bunch of other things, like NASA, space exploration, and things going in and out of the atmosphere. Elon Musk's Starlink. And see, I might be a old country hillbilly, but I know a little bit about what's going on in the world. I don't want to bore you guys with all that, but sometimes in life, you really have to understand your environment. Just like raising chickens. If you don't have patience, you're probably not going to have fun raising chickens, or gardening or farm or anything of that nature. Because a lot of people, they see it and they think it's, oh, let's do it like on TV. It's going to be pretty and simple. Well, the reason it's always pretty on a lot of the big channels on YouTube and on TV and YouTube ads or Facebook ads or wherever you're going with it. The reason it's usually pretty because they have a great environment to work in, unlike me. They have cameraman, production crews, and most of them are, give or take, most of them are not just regular people. They're usually actors, so they got a pretty face and they make everything look like it's all pretty. Being a farmer is nothing pretty about it. When you're shoveling poop out of a chicken coop or horse stall, what have you, ain't nothing pretty about it, but it's just part of it. And I mean, there's a lot of crap out there that I see and I find personally retarded, because I don't think it offers any kind of real value. Because guess what? You have the ability to go pack your animals water when it's 20 below? Do you have the ability to bust ice when it's 20 below so they have water? Are you ready to feed them when it's freezing cold and boiling hot? If you're not ready for those things, you might just think about not having a massive flock or a lot of animals. Because if you're not prepared for that type of stuff of that nature, I mean, it's gonna beat you down pretty quick. So I worked on farms for myself. Worked on farms, doing farm hand work for years. And I thought, well, I'll build me a little farm. Well, guess what? It just don't happen as simple as it does on a big farm, because they got everything. Because they have money to do the stuff, makes it more proficient. And I know some of the stuff doesn't pertain to the video, but I'm a non-typical YouTuber. I'm a no BS guy. I want to tell you the truth. And it might not be something anybody wants to hear, but there's no bullshit in my content. I mean, I put product links out there. In the future, I might not even put product links in my YouTube videos, because I mean, I probably won't do it because it goes to Amazon affiliate, and I made $1.74 since July, and that ain't nothing. And I figured I'd make at least $10, but before you can even get your money out of Amazon affiliate, you have to make $10. So I'm probably not going to deal with that no more, just because I find it to be a waste of my time, and then probably nobody even, I think very few people, maybe 1 or 2 people actually use the link. So in all reality, just pissing in the wind. And I don't like to piss in the wind, because I don't like having piss on my leg and bullshitting around. When I do something, I want to do it. And I don't exactly care for instant results neither, because I ain't like a lot of people on that end either. But some folks, that's the only thing they know is instant gratification. Being a small farmer, it don't matter if you're raising catfish, shrimp, bee husbandry, or growing crops. It don't come easy. I mean, you see all the big people on TV and video games and all that. All that stuff costs a lot of money. Because I drove a tractor for a big farm. And the tractor I was driving, it had three steps. 3 steps for disking. It had deals on the back of it looked like trash cans. You fill it full of seed. And on the very back of it had flaps to where it would actually, you'd disc it, it'd seed, and the flap would cover it up on the back. But here we go in a nutshell. This is what it looks like. And I'm not going to be over analytical in this, but I might find something out and see how equal they are. Just a little hillbilly method. And if you look at them, they're I mean, they're probably not 100% straight if I used a square or something of that nature, but it doesn't really have to be. I mean, they're fairly accurately all towards the bottom, because they're all touching the bottom, so I think it's going to work out good. I figured I'd just show you guys something new, because guess what? I'm a FYI fly guy, and I do everything on the whim with no production crew or none of that stuff. I'm just here to provide you guys some cool stuff. So if you want to learn something interesting, guess what? I might not be the best at narrating it or directing it or creating it or have a lighting crew or any of that stuff. I have to mention that because sometimes you get them over analytical YouTube snobs and they come at you with that BS. But anyway, you can see outside of it. So what I'm going to do now, since I use the phone because I ain't using the camera recorder because it takes a lot of work setting it up and it's very awkward getting it set up. But as you can see, all the wing nuts are fastened on the inside of this, and it's a little bit dirty. It's a food grade barrel that I was actually storing tools in. And here's one more thing. I'll take just a teeny bit of bleach. I don't think I have any, but I'll take hot soapy water, and I'll use a sponge to get this sucker cleaned out real good. And then I'll probably make another video and we'll watch it. I'll show you guys the most boring part of it, where the water actually trickles out of the spout and then it runs in here. But I think the chickens will like it. I know I'll like it, because then what this maybe initially do, because I don't care if you raise chickens or ducks. Ducks are terrible about using their beak, and then they dig in the dirt and everything, and they just make the water muddy. And it's also bad when the ducks are babies and you got them in a brooder, stuff of that nature, and you have a little bowl. The ducks will actually, them little ducks can be this big from Tractor Supply Chick Days, Crackle Hatchery out of Lebanon, Missouri, or just about anywhere in general. But them little bitty baby ducks, I'm talking hatchlings, they want to be warm, but as soon as they see water and they drink for the first couple times, boom, they're in that water. And then ducks, they'll drink the water, they'll nuzzle in the water, they'll poop in it, and then you got to constantly clean that water. So That's the thing with ducks and chickens. If you have baby chicks, do not mix baby ducks and chicks together. Because here's what's going to happen. Ducks are going to get water everywhere. The chicks are going to get cold, and it can cause them to die. You don't want to mix that way. Just have a separate cage for the ducks and have your water bowl. And the thing is, you can actually get minerals, antibiotics for the water. It's called Mana Pro, and you mix it by ratio, where you can take basically one package and mix it to, the way I do it is one package to 1 gallon of water, which you can use a milk jug or just about any kind of jug you get water in, what have you. But there's a serious thing about the water quality when you're raising them, because they can get bloated and they get a lot of sicknesses. And if they get like a sickness, like we get a sickness, our body is more designed for passing it. They'll get it and they'll get bloated. And then when they get diarrhea and stuff like that, they can't hardly eat, and it bloats them, and then they don't want to eat, and then they dehydrate and they die. So I'm no master of raising poultry, but I've worked on taking care of chickens for a good long time at big farms and at home for over 5 to 10 years at home. And I've dealt with everything else. And the way I built my chicken coop, I could have built it up off the ground, like the fancy ones where they have the little board to walk up in it. I built it on the ground, quick created it, put hardware cloths in the ground and concreted it on a 2-foot base of gravel. Used 4x4 posts, 2x4s, and screened it all in. And I was so pissed off, and I wasn't thinking correctly because I was so angry because my ducks was getting killed, chickens was getting killed. I put hardware cloth over it, and then I put tin over the outside of it. Really, if you want to make a real quick deal, this is before retarded COVID and our powers to be molested our economy. I built it. It wasn't a pitch roof. It's like a lean-to, and it was 16 foot long and 8 foot wide all the way down. What I could have done to make it easier, I could actually tin the whole back of it in and screen the whole front of it in. My mistake. So I added tin over hardware cloth. So that pretty much stopped bears or foxes or stuff of that nature. But as you can see in the other videos, I took reclaimed things and I built a chicken run onto the front. It's between probably 9 to 12 foot long. So now it's not 16 foot long. It's more around 30, 35 foot long, and it's all pretty secure. And I had a raccoon got in when I was working the process of it, and I had some of them ducks people gave me, and I don't know what happened to them. I guess crazy thing, I started seeing some of them suckers, at least 2 of them suckers fly off, and then the Amish ducks, they got ate and this and that, and I ain't dicking with them raccoons and all that stuff no more, having to shoot them and trap them and all that. If I want to trap them in coonskin hats or barbecue them, that's one thing. But I ain't going to sit there and have them killing my animals. Just when you're raising poultry, is having a good water supply. And you can feed them bread, and don't let people BS. You can't feed ducks bread, it'll constipate them. You don't have to feed them bread every single day, but you can feed them bread. Ducks do like bread. And I have a pond, and I'd be throwing bread to the chickens. If I had bread from like old food bank, where sometimes I pick up bread they gave me, I throw the bread in the water. Well, what's that do? The ducks can eat it in the water. It makes it easier. And then what the ducks don't eat, the catfish will. But I also don't do that no more as much, because when you start putting a lot of stuff out in your yard, then you're starting to bait your animals to get killed. Because when there ain't no food supply that the raccoons or parasites or varmints are eating, then they're going to want to eat your poultry or whatever they can get. So this is just my own little thing. And if you followed this far, I hope you like it and find the video insightful. Cool thing about this food grade bucket, it's a little heavier and a little bit thicker than them brittle ones. So you might want to think about that, because you get one of them over at one of them farm stores, them things are flim flam. Once they get sun on them and hot and cold, them things break up and they're brittle. I mean, this one probably do it, but I'll have this one for I'll probably get a couple years out of usage being in the chicken run. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. Sorry that I put out some stuff about how I just despise corporations and how the government's kind of screwed us up in our economy. But there's always makeshift ways to do everything. And if you find the understanding and it resonates in you and you can understand where I'm coming from, just please like and subscribe if you like it. And I ain't out there to get monetization. I just find it to be a fun little game. Because if I did get monetization, any kind of money that I potentially would get, I'll use it for hobbies, and I'll even be donating the money to local fire department, churches, Children's Miracle Network, Wounded Warriors. I wouldn't be able to do it all at once because, I mean, I probably wouldn't get very much money. Let's just say I had monetization, I got 500. Well, I'd probably keep maybe $100, $150 for my hobby stuff, and then I start making envelopes and putting stamps on them, and I do each category where I'm going to donate money. And $20 might not be much, but 200 people donate 20, it does add up. 20 people donate 20, it adds up. So I'm realistic out here, and I'm not out here trying to bother you guys or be boring. I'm just trying to show you guys that you don't have to depend on fancy things. You can do it with a little and have a lot. And a lot does, when you do stuff for yourself, it gives you some esteem in life. Or, hey, I just made me a chicken water instead of having to go to Orson and spend $30 for a plastic container. It's probably not going to last very long. And if it gets bumped or broke, then I'm stuck. And you can go on them. You can go on like different places. I'm probably say Temu, maybe Shein USA, and different manufacturers and businesses in China and websites probably sell these actually cheaper than here. Because I've actually believe I seen them the other night. Instead of buying 6 for about $10.99, $6.99, $10.99 ratio on Amazon. Some of them Chinese manufacturers, they're same one selling the stuff to Amazon. It's the same product. It's exactly the same. I've looked at the pictures. I've looked at the specs. And I've traced it all down. Coming out of the same damn place, except for instead of paying $6.99 and $10.99, you're probably going to be able to get this off one of those websites for roughly like $2.99, $4.99. And if you're like me and you're on a budget, you know, it's not a bad thing to save $1. And even if you have plenty of money, sometimes saving money is good because you'll have money in the future. Because money has to be the biggest slavery method in the United States. But this is just my insight. I'm going to wrap this up and get back to everything I was doing. Because I enjoy all the comments and feedback. And even some of the toxic comments I do get. I still respect those people. I may not give two shits what they're saying, but I'll be respectful as long as they don't push me to a certain level, because they do, then they're blocked. I'm not going to cuss them, not going to fight with them. I don't do that bullshit narratives. I'm here to provide fun and entertainment for myself, and this is my hobby, my time, my life that I'm sharing with the world. If people don't like it, well, they don't watch it. It's that simple. Much love as always from Fat Man from the Holler, and I hope everybody has a great Super Bowl Sunday.